The title is Clickbait. Okay, what we're actually doing today is that we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the developer diaries, some of the blog posts that are coming from the developers, Ainzo, over in the CN servers. So this is all the stuff that's going to come to Path to Nowhere within the coming months. Now, to preface this, the last time they did this set, they said that they were going to work more towards dedicated teams, and they've done that by adding new characters like Jasmine to the mix that kind of reinforce existing teams, as well as making new dedicated teams like Orm Secretum. So they followed through on that. The next thing they said they'd do is that they were going to rework how Dark Zone worked, which they did. Dark Zone now features 3 buffs, and it plays the same, but the back end of things is much different and very much improved in my opinion. And these developer diaries, they've done them for years now, and they've always been true to their word when they do this. So this is sort of our peek into the future of what to expect from Path Nowhere going forward. Now, before we go any further, I do want to shout out my boy Xwides. He provided the translations. They're machine translated, but he found the original post and machine translated them. So there will be a link to his channel in the description. Go check him out. He does a lot of written guides. He does a lot of showcases. Same stuff that I do, except no voice. But he does a lot more written content than I do, and he's way better at like organization, stuff like that. So check him out. But let's go ahead and take a look at what this blog post is looking like. Oh, that's the wrong screen. It's this screen. Okay, so a lot of text here. Again, this is Ainzo's original post, but it's been machine translated, I'm assuming by Google Translate. So, another one of the things that they said they do last blog patch that I forgot to mention, they said that they would start doing a double banner every 3 months. So we already had double banners on the half and full year anniversaries, and they said that they'd move forward with more double banners every 3 months instead of every 6 months, which they've done. Jasmine and Parfait was a double banner, and there's a new double banner on CN in about 2.5 months, or 2 months from now, something like that, with Rust and Margaret. So when Path Nowhere puts out these kind of posts, they mean it. So looking ahead, they want to make the main story more regular. They want to have not just all these side events. They want to make more events dedicated to the main story specifically. Before I go any further, let me put some music on. Let's do King of the Party. Yeah, I'm going to have to balance the music, but I can do that live. Yeah, it's good enough. Okay. And they have the next bit of story specifically regarding some sort of court, and we're talking about going deeper into Chief's backstory rather than sort of focusing on other Eldritch abominations and Black Rings. We're going to learn more about the Chief. And then there's some talk about crossover events. I'm assuming that the crossover events are talking about making them come to global servers, which is interesting. But, they don't give any details here. They're just kind of saying, hey, when we're doing these crossover events, when we're doing these collaborations, we want to have more say of what's going on. We want to be able to, I'm assuming that they want to be able to distribute it to global servers instead of limiting it strictly to CN servers. But we'll see how that rolls out. The big thing here is that they're revamping how the Endless Nightmare works. So Endless Nightmare is going to get a new update, and it's actually going live in CN like this week or next week or something like that. Like it's going live in CN very soon. So we're 3 months out from this update for global servers. But the idea is that they're remaking Endless Nightmare to make it more replayable. Now, if you guys have joined me on my live streams, I have occasionally played Arknights on my live stream, and in pretty much every context that I talk about Arknights, and a little backstory, I am a max level Arknights doctor. I have like 100 something operators at E2 with their modules. Like I've been Arknights player, okay? I stopped playing for about 2 years, but I came back to it, blah, blah, blah. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to Arknights. And in the context of Arknights, Path Nowhere is just better in every sense of the word. Path Nowhere does literally every single aspect that Arknights wants to do, but does it better. The one exception there is integrated strategies. Arknights roguelike mode is very good, and you can play that for 100 hours if you want to. It's not that friendly to new players. You kind of need like a really well-defined roster to play it. But assuming you have a well-defined Arknights roster, you can play their roguelike integrated strategies for hundreds of hours. You cannot do that in Path to Nowhere. Path to Nowhere's Endless Nightmare is very easy to pick up for new players, but for the veteran player, I mean, you're getting like 2-3 hours of enjoyment out of this, and then like you're cooked and you don't want to go back to Endless Nightmare again. It's just not a very fun, repetitive experience. And the whole idea of a roguelike is that you're supposed to be able to play it over and over and over and over and over again. And that's something that they're sort of taking a look at, and they are, again, they're reformatting what Endless Nightmare looks like, and they're trying to make it a richer strategy gameplay, depth of gameplay, all those keywords down there at the bottom. They're trying to make it a more enriching experience for the audience. So I'm excited about that. But this next part is where my title comes in. It's a very clickbaity title, but let's go ahead and take a look at that. I don't think I caught it all. There we go. That's the screen I wanted. The next piece that they wanted to talk about, in addition to previously mentioned major updates, they want to improve in existing game modes like BFL, Data Crevice. Specifically, additionally, for players who prefer a more relaxed and easy to play combat experience, a new simplified game mode will be added later this year. We don't know when added later this year means. That could mean like June for them, which would mean like September for us. Like we don't know what the timeline is here, right? But sometime 2026 or like start of 2027, we'll have a new game mode. And the idea of this mode is that it will gradually introduce the game's combat mechanics and squad combinations, helping players quickly learn the game. Guys, that's what my entire channel's about. Path Nowhere is trying to steal my job. There, I said it. It's in my title. I said it out loud now. Path Nowhere is trying to steal my job. They're taking my channel and they're just putting it into their game. So soon you guys aren't going to need me. You'll know how to play the game perfectly because Path Nowhere is going to teach you instead of me. So, you know, congratulations. You guys won't have to listen to me talk anymore. I can retire from YouTube at the crisp age of 1,000 something subscribers. But no, I'm just kidding. I'll still be around. I'm actually looking forward to this update. One, because like I'm really interested to see how Path to Nowhere does like the tutorial. Because this is largely, right, a tutorial. They're teaching you how to use the new teams. They're teaching you how to use buffers, like when to use abilities and like team compositions, like crime brands, I'm assuming are somewhere in there. When to core break, when to like save all your abilities. Like hopefully it's a really well-built tutorial. And I'm excited to not only review the tutorial, but also review the information that they're giving you, review their team comps and see if I have any like suggestions or edits to their team comps. Like I want to see how good this is. And in the past, they've dabbled in this in the past. In some of the earlier Tide of Ashes seasons, Ainzo went ahead and like said, hey, here are some recommended teams. Like these are the teams that are going to do well in Tide of Ashes. And they were really accurate. Like the developers of Path to Nowhere actually follow their own meta. And they are very knowledgeable about their game. And that's not a thing that's true of a lot of developers out there. Some developers just kind of like throw stuff out there and see what sticks. I'm looking at pretty much every single card game developer that's ever existed. They just print like the new most broken card in existence and like, oops, I guess that one was too strong. And while we do get some things that are too strong in Path to Nowhere, the devs understand why it's too strong and where that strength lies and like how to play around it. And one of the cool things is they've learned how to, I'm getting into their design philosophy now. They figured out what makes centers fall off. And it's when centers can be easily replaced. So what they're doing is that the modern day design philosophy is that centers both do their thing and provide buffs to their team. And that makes it so that when you print somebody who's like, if Augustus provides 30% true damage to her entire team. When they do print Augustus but stronger, Augustus will still be used on that team because she's still giving a 30% true damage boost to her team. So even though Augustus right now is being played as like the primary DPS super carry of the world, in like, I'll be generous, in like 5 years, when Augustus is now like the weakest true damage member on the team, she's still useful because she's buffing the entire team. And that's the sort of design philosophy that they are going into. And I praise the Path North developers for how well they design their game to really be a deep, enriching experience. And I'm very excited to see just how good their own tutorial will be. So, we'll see how it goes. But you guys might not need me anymore. They're taking my job. The Path of Nowhere is taking my job. Okay, and outside of that, they're also talking about a few quality of life and like other optimization. Mostly what they're saying is they're going to continue improving the game. They're going to implement this tutorial. Up here it says that they're going to continue improving the game. And then on the previous page, they're talking about making the main story more frequent. Instead of all these side stories, they're going to have more frequent main story editions. And the upcoming main story editions are going to be specifically around Chief and her backstory. And then they talked about the new Endless Nightmare, as well as hinting at ideas of crossovers and collaborations, which we already have one. I think it's confirmed to be coming out in global. I think it's confirmed. So we do have one to look forward to right after Reforged Zoya comes out. So it's still a whiles out from us, but in a few months we're going to have a collab that I'm pretty sure is confirmed to come to global, but don't quote me on it. But anyways, I've got some Adela. It's on an Adela guide, okay? I'm super behind on the Adela guide. I'm having some Adela video come out tomorrow, and that Adela video is pretty much going to be like a how-to, and not really a how-to, kind of like an anchor review and breakdown. It's an in-depth review, but not a guide. It's informational content about Adela coming out tomorrow. So tune in for that. And if you guys haven't seen it, go check out the tier list video, because it was 3.5 hours long, and you really should check it out. There was 3 possible thumbnails. I had everyone vote, and pretty much everyone chose thumbnail 3. And when I ran the YouTube testing, because it lets me test thumbnails against each other, thumbnail 3 won by like 20-30%. So yeah, you guys like thumbnail 3. But go check out that video. It's brand new. It's for the 2026 tier list. Check it out. And I'll catch you guys soon for Adela stuff. All right. Catch you then. Oh, also live stream soon for the new season of Data Crevice. Yeah, you guys will find out. I'll see you guys then. Peace.